I felt the exact same way, Kenny. I really did. What's up, brother? You all right? Come on in. Jump in the middle.
I don't want to.
No, come in the middle. Are you kidding me? I can't believe these two have never met each other. I asked both of them.
No, it's crazy.
I mean, whether you guys, I'm not trying to embarrass either one of you. Both of you guys are Detroit icons. I mean, both of you guys are guys that you know. You became fan favorites here. I'm not blowing any smoke up your butt.
I know why.
What?
Because when I was watching him, and when he was coming into the league, and I was paying attention, but that was I was deep in my addiction, and I wasn't around. You know what I mean? This is between 2009 and probably 13, 14. So I'm around, but because I'm in my alcoholism and all this, I stay away because you know what I'm saying. So I didn't have the pleasure, but I had the pleasure of watching you, man. And
I appreciate it.
Always inspired, like I said, a hometown, grinder. I mean, this is what it's all about. This kid, like. The difference between him is I'm the stepson and he's the son. You know what I mean? He's the son of Detroit. I'm from across the border, so it's all good.
Yeah, born and raised in Benton Harbor. I actually moved here when I was 18.
Perfect.
Yeah,
so you're saying,
so it's home for me. So it's home for me. This is 15 years in the making here.
The thing is, you make the beauty, and people appreciate, man, is you put Wayne State, and you what you did, open. Where you play college downtown, right?
Yeah, right there.
You did it the Detroit way. You played like you get that ball in the backfield, bro, and it's like the effort is always there. And I think that as a Detroit person and icon knows that's all people want. Doesn't matter with our sports. Give me that effort. And I think you're going back to the Lions last week. Who cares? Enjoy the line and enjoy what you're happening. If my man Sean Baligian, who has had to cover this stuff because of what he does on the radio and stuff, because with Steve Cordy and Dan Miller and all these guys, when you hear them get excited, because it's the no quit, it's the back to it. It starts, and what's my favorite word these days, Sean?
Culture.
Culture.
You guys also have that in common. Trust me.
Culture. And so the blessing is going in 2021 for me as a Detroit sports fan kid that grew up here, is I see every sport team now moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, remember how I was using it, that Eiserman or the Wings analogy is like, thank God, man, we're not just going to training camp and doing circles of the harbor. We're out in the open water. What's it mean? I don't know, but we're going to get there eventually. You look at the Tigers, you look at the Lions, you look
Say it again for you. You don't know what it means, but hey, we're going to get there eventually.
We don't know. It's the same.
I love it.
Because I tell everybody, if you go back to history, the first time I ever had that moment was March 26, 97, after beating up Lemieux and scoring the goal, where it's like, you're not supposed to stay in the game after doing that stuff, let alone score the overtime winner. And the gravity of it was, first time it's like, oh my gosh, and everybody can relate to that, right? Everybody can relate that that's the first time it's going to be all right. I don't know what it means, it's going to be all right. Then it worked out for us. The second time for me that happens, I tell everybody, it's when Steve Eiserman was introduced as general manager. And now you see the ball rolling with everything it's done. So as far as the Wings, we're going to win again. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, maybe not. 5, 6, 7, 8, I would expect. It's going to take them half the chance. So the beauty is what you see culture-wise, because that's where it starts with anything to me, man.
For sure, man. You done something that I wasn't able to do on the lines. You brought championships back to the city and brought us pride. So for that, we appreciate you, what you done.
Hey, but I'm trying to keep a straight face, and I'm just going to, bro. I had a lot more support than you did. Let's just it wasn't because you didn't want it as bad as I did. Because I had these guys called Yzerman and Fedorov and Bowman, right? Right where it goes down to being led by the top. Everybody knows my feelings about the Illiches and the love, and because the family. Yeah. And that's the whole thing from me. As a 4-time champion, I see the culture from the top needs to change. And maybe it will now, because we've seen something different. I've been here, I'm 48 years old, so I've been a Lions fan since I was 3, 4, 5 years old, whatever like that. It's different, and you got to give it will and a chance, because what's the alternative?
Absolutely.
What's the alternative?
Yeah. I'm the luckiest guy right now. I'm with two icons, Detroit icons. There's no other way to say it. I'm not trying to embarrass either of them, but two guys, Darren, I think you said it best. These guys have repped the D in their own way. Joique Bell, Darren McCarty, he's been kind enough to blow down here. Hopefully, I hope I'm not putting the cart in front of the horse. Hopefully he's a part of what we do here as well at Woodward Sports. We'd love to have him, and obviously we love having him on right now. It's so funny because I told both of you in separate texts last night, I can't believe you two haven't met each other because you guys have so much in common. It's business ventures, mentality. I mean, you guys have so much in common, Joique. You really do.
Speaking of business ventures, like, what are you in now? Oh, I've heard rumors.
No, Darren McCarty brand, the cannabis, my licensing by Pinkana is the greatest thing that I have ever done because I just got off the phone with all the testing and the packaging for my CBD roll-on, right? Which in the testing of it, which is the most important part. Now, if you're talking, everything, and I can get into it and whatever else, but the bottom line is that you have a system that works for yourself, and the CBD and the hemp and the people that I've surrounded myself with and the education that I've got, because this plant saved my life. Okay, saved my life from being an alcoholic, and it's helped me with insomnia, but it's also helped with the pain and stuff like this. So I'm coming out with the Darren McCarty roll-on, which will be out before Christmas. They're packaging it right now. I'm so excited, and the best thing is it's e-commerce. And what does that mean? Because it's the CBD and
you
it's
sell it online.
It goes everywhere, dude. I'm gonna get you some, bro. And in the like I've had it. I know from my fact, this is my body. I absolutely know. It's got Madagascar vanilla, which is the most expensive vanilla on the planet. So my boy Brent didn't spare anything, and it works it'd be perfect for the dressing room, not only for aches and pains that you would think, but for athlete's foot, for gout, for jock itch, for everything like that. It's that relief. So for me, I realize it's the education of people. Now, if you want to talk THC and flower and strains and all that, we can get into that. But it's the education of what people, what level you're at. Right, so I came late to the game. I'm one of these that.
When did you get in?
Well, because when I was 27, I had my first sport hernia surgery. Right now, I'm a guy battling alcohol in the league, and actually, I won all 4 cups. And I always make a joke, but I'm serious. Is that every cup that we won 4, I was sober for. Right, so it's my fault we don't have 12.
Right.
But because of the pills and stuff, I couldn't take it. And I grew up, and Ricky Williams, who's well documented, who's also a friend.
Right.
I grew up with you're either a stoner or a jock. In hockey, as Sean said, you can drink beer since you're like 12 years old and whatever. That's accepted. But this plant, and it's sort of like worse than anything you could do.
And why do you think that stigma is?
Well, it's just because it was 100-year stigma of don't get me involved in it. It goes back to the 30s and stuff. It takes 100 years to right or wrong because of whatever the injustice it is. So my whole thing is like, we're in 2020. If you don't want me to backtrack and beat you up for all the stuff I'm mad about in the past, for all the stuff, is that as long as you take where we're at today, and the beauty of Michigan, I always joke with Sean, 2020. Not too bad in my world. Gambling's legal, cannabis is legal, and I got a WJR show at Friday night, 7 to 8 with this guy. So, but it's through the education and the people I surrounded myself with, and always asking questions. I have this one thing is I try to shine this light, and everything's out in the open. That's a blessing for me, but it's to shine the light for people who are looking to say, what do you mean by that, or want to get out of the dark. But it's also too the people who are in the dark that want to stay there, because I don't care what you do, but if I'm not doing it, don't do it around me, because then we got real big problems. Because now I got a support system real deep of people who want the truth, want the answers, just want no BS. Right? So I was told that now I have the responsibility, or I know the truth, it's my responsibility what I do with it. So I decided to get with like-minded guys and to create the Darren McCarty brand. So
why do you think there's a stigma? Because let everybody know your background as well. Why does that stigma? I grew up with the stigma.
Yeah,
I grew up with
we're
it.
hockey guys, so
yeah.
hey, bro, here, drink this.
Yeah, right.
Here, drink all this fifth of vodka or whatever like this, and be puking all over yourself. That's okay, but my man wants to go and hit and chill out, dude. That's ostracized. It's stupid.
Yeah. So So for me, I got into the cannabis industry in 2017, and the reason for me was more personal than the lucrative side. So my sister had been on dialysis for at that time for about, I think it was going on 12 years, and so from the dialysis, she ended up developing like chronic arthritis in her back, and so she was taking to mask the pain of that chronic arthritis. She was taking about 90 to 98 Percocets a month to mask the pain. And so she had 4 kids, and so it was just draining her. So she wanted to get off of the pain pills and try something different. So she ended up trying a edible. And she said for 3 days straight, without having to take any pain pills, she said she felt the best she's felt in years. And she said, and I wanted to do a business venture to where she could, to where she can do something and feel proud about it and be something that it has a purpose, and we're not chasing the money, but the purpose and the type of medicine we can bring to our community. And so I said, let's try it. So we hired a lawyer, we started a petition, made it become a conversation in the city hall, went down and spoke. The first time they voted no. The second time we went back, we won the vote, I think 6-5. We won about 1 vote. And then once that happened, the city had to come out with an ordinance. They came out with an ordinance. They came out with the application process. We applied for it. We ended up winning our dispensary license, and then we started from there. And I built a team around me to kind of come in and kind of walk us through, because my ego isn't big enough to ask for help. So I knew I needed help with trying to get this in. And so we teamed up with some, some cannabis heavy hitters, and they came in, they held my hand, they walked me through it. And now we're opening up our first dispensary, what we're planning to do in June during my charity weekend. So that's what we plan on doing.
What's it called?
It'll be called Floetry.
What's it called?
Floetry.
Floetry?
Yeah,
see,
because
because here's the one thing is that as I go around, and because, like you said, guys like us, there's no ego here. Man,
Yeah.
I'm the first one to ask for help. I'm the first one. I'll jump in. You need to test dummy, whatever like this. I don't know what the drill is, but whack me around.
Like for me, I haven't indulged into it yet.
No.
But I'm not against it whatsoever.
No, but you understand
I
the
understand
benefits,
it. I
and
understand the
it's
benefits.
people like you, because here's the thing, it's not the what, it's the who. So it's whatever venture, like you push people to there. I go through the state, and like you said, it's not about whether you use the Darren McCarty brand or not. That's an option. The number one thing people got to understand, it's not about whether you do or you don't. It's that you have an option. I say to you, do you know you have an option? You don't need to take these pills, what this doctor writes you out, and guy in a white, because he's got a white coat on, what he tells you to go get and put in your body, right? The beauty about this is that you have two things. You have a system, and I'm coming from an addict. You have a system that works specifically with this plant. It's your responsibility how you get it in. And 2, you cannot die. You cannot overdose. You cannot die. You'll go to sleep.
Let me know
You'll
if you
throw
find
up.
a case. Let me know if you find a case of somebody overdosing on marijuana.
Never.
Okay.
It's impossible. You have to smoke, and literally, you'd have to smoke like 1 million joints. Like your body will shut down. Trust me, we tried. But the whole thing, and joint, the beauty is what you love is because now, and you see in the city, right, where they're giving out these things. My big thing is to have, I always wanted, I patented the Penalty Box Coffee Company because my goal is to have a consumption lounge coffee shop down near the stadiums. And whether it's, and that's the whole thing as far as why wouldn't it be a bunch of athletes, a place to go, people that have the option that they don't want to go to the bar and drink. Maybe they want a cup of coffee, maybe they want to get some education, maybe they want to need some CBD or something, and then they know the beauty is, hey, I need some CBD. We're going to stop at D-Max, down here. We're going to go to Joints before we go to the game.
We have David says, sign me up for test subject. You have Derek calling you Dr. Green Coat.
Yeah, I like it.
Dr. Green Coat.
Grow Green, Michigan, D-Mac in the house.
That's
Looking
it,
forward
Grow.
to supporting this show in 2021. Keep it up, boys.
And that's
David said, that's my man. All effort, no quit. We try too.
That's it, man. That's it. And you bring up Grow Green. Grow Green, Michigan. Great people. Great.
You familiar,
great.
Joique?
So,
We're going to help the business out.
Yeah, no, I can.
We're getting the
And
business.
here's
So in this business, if you you really want to be vertically integrated. And so all that means is you have your own cultivation, you have your own processing, and you have your own provisioning center, which is the political term for dispensary here. You have your cultivation, is basically like your grow facility, and then you have your processing, which you take the flower and then you turn it into your different products, your edibles, your oils.
You do it all in house.
They have oil capsules. So with the CBD and the hemp, yes, that's not federally illegal, and so you can set it on the e-commerce. But when you talk that THC, you can't cross state lines.
Okay.
Right? And so it's certain. So the federal government has given each state the right to govern themselves. That's why certain states they have to opt in order to, and then even when you opt into the state, the cities that you want to operate in, they have to opt in as well. And so before I got into the business, I didn't understand all of this. Like I learned this like through trial and error and through my partners who's been in it. So
Nick Dooch in the house.
what's up,
buddy?
What up, though?
That's my boy Nick.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Hey,
And here's the one thing is that now it's that conversation of because it's a big thing, and you know how it is. It's
you have
like
to start it.
when you have that conversation of who that you know is good. I have these three things: friend of mine,
All right.
real tight, friend of mine right here, friend of ours. You know what I mean? We know friend of ours. We deal with them. So friend of theirs. What's a friend of theirs? That means there's something there that you need to ask me about that I have experience in the past or heard something or whatever that you need to be brought up to speed and make your own decision because knowledge is power.
Period.
Whatever else it is, and that's what we try to get operating. And
it's so funny because you guys both talk about the stigma, and as a guy who doesn't do this, it's kind of, there are probably people out there watching right now going, you guys can't be talking about this.
We can talk about whatever we want to talk about on the Baligian and Bell Show.
That's exactly
Talk
it.
about whatever we want to talk about.
That's A, and B, you know,
We're our own producers. We have our meetings about what we're going to talk about.
my question is why
Period.
not? We're not. Everything's legal now, right?
Well, that is legal.
Like, drop this
It's
stigma.
legal.
It's silly.
But the only way we can drop this stigma, honestly, is through education.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can drop it. And even then, like, people have their own thoughts on it. They think it's a gateway drug. Well, it's
an exit strategy, bro.
Right. That's the strategy.
It's an exit strategy.
And then some people have, you know what? You can never tell a person to feel a certain type of way. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But usually what a person learned, and it's especially in like certain communities where it's hindered that community. Usually the old school people, they've only seen it hurt more people than it helped. And so now it's the stigma in their head that this is the bad. Don't do it in my house. Don't do it around me. Don't do it at all. And that's their preference, and that's fine. But for the people who are open-minded, that really would like to sit down and have a conversation to be educated on this particular plant, let's have those conversations. And I'm glad you came on. We was able to talk about it.
no, hey,
I'm
ready
saving
in
this
front, bro.
conversation.
I'm
on the front
like I
line
said,
with
I'm
it.
a smasher.
We're on the front line with it. So
Yeah, I'm lead blocking for you, bro.
I appreciate-
I'm just saying,
The
dude.
thing about this industry,
You don't need it, but I mean,
know
I'll
what's funny?
maybe I'll get a piece of that lineman coming off the edge.
You know what's funny though? When you sit back, we have these conversations, and you talk about this plant, and you talk about different corporations that might make you get tested before you come work for them. For us, we want people in the subculture to work for us, because this is a drug where people come into a dispensary, they don't really know too much, so we can give them advice. Now, we can't prescribe anything, but we can recommend certain things due to just legalities of this business. But it's definitely something that can really help out a lot of people. It's helped out people in my life, people that I love, and so I vouch for it, especially when it's done correctly.
You know what? And it's funny because I've heard his testimonial, and now you're talking about, you're personalizing it as well. Who the hell am I to tell somebody not to do something that's making their life better?
Period.
It doesn't make sense to me. And again, let me go back to the beginning. It's not illegal. Can we all move on?
So that's the there's certain that right there is the beauty, because now hopefully the people that were afraid because of the stigma can come out, because because their way of life, or they want better, they want to feel better, they want the option, they have questions. Like you said, this plant, you got to get educated, get medicated for what Because we all have a system, but it's all different.
So this is where it comes to how do you get educated, right?
What
we have is when we open up our dispensary, it's not just going to be come in, get your product, and then you leave. So we'll have everything from the product. We'll have masseuses on site to where if you want to buy oils that have rubbed into you, we'll have that on site. We're not even calling it, we're calling that a wellness center. So you come in and we're really teaching you. We'll have a kitchen. You come in, you set up for different appointments. You can learn how to cook with the medicine. You can learn all these different things. So it'll be something more than just a dispensary coming to buy. And we didn't want to have that. We wanted to be something different. We wanted to be more of a school and teaching people on how to use the product correctly.
Look at Mac's boy Nick back there. He knows he's done for the next half hour, right? Mac and Joique are going business meeting, schmizness meeting. These two get going, Nick, and it's all. I mean,
look at Nick's hair.
Going. That's a good look.
Look at Nick's. Seriously, that is ridiculous right now. I think he's challenging me. I was even gonna maybe sit in a chair. You never know.
No, it's funny, and so many people, Joique, I'm sure you know about it, but
Kenny said, Cat Williams said it best. I'm trying to do my Cat Williams. It's a plant, and if it happened to set on fire, there may be some effects. Laugh out loud. That's hilarious.
So many people have commented on Facebook, and Joique, I'm sure you've seen it. It's an iconic photo. It's an iconic moment. Darren McCarty is the author of one of the most iconic moments in Detroit sports history, period, end of story. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Mac, there's the Lemieux fight, and then there's you going on Mario Lemieux in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals in 1997. I mean, legitimately,
turtle.
Those are two of the greatest moments.
I remember the turtle. I don't. Did it score some goals?
He scored a pretty big goal in the Stanley Cup.
I beat one guy one-on-one my whole career, guys. It's all time.
They deserved it.
It's all time.
He did the Lemieux too. He got that long reach out, even though he's not 6'90" like Lemieux is. But you got that long reach out. You got the body lean like Mario.
The leg, the knee.
I mean,
remember the knee, the old school knee. You're talking about old school knee.
And it really is. It is funny every time. And you're seeing it on here as well, Joique. People talking about the turtle. People talking about that goal.
Greatest moment.
You are
that bastard had it coming that morning.
And Matt, we were talking about this. As big as the party was in '97, and it was off the hook. It really was. People forget what. I don't even know how to explain it. It was almost like, it's over. 42 years, and everybody talking about 1955 is over. The biggest party ever will be when the Lions win. It just will be.
Dude, because absolutely. We've always said that, though. We would comment, and I'll tell you this. A parade down Woodward with 1 million some people. One of the pictures I have in my house is shot from a helicopter from the first parade back towards Hart Plaza down Woodward. You can't see grass, you can't see cement, you can't see anything because of the people. I remember we were waiting to leave, and you do the route and you follow whatever. Drapes and I and Ozzy are sitting talking, and we look at each other. Can you imagine if the Lions won? Like we know that because we're going to be there too. We'll be all face painted up.
I'm telling you, I'll be blacked out. I'm telling you, I won't even remember it. That's the worst.
I'm going to tell you this, and this is me being selfish. Whatever team wins it, I'm going to envy them, but I'm going to be so happy at the same time. Because I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Because I know how crazy the season's going to go.
Yep.
I can't wait for it.
I just wonder how many people like just automatically will just pass because they've birthday sold their soul for a Lions win, and then all of a sudden,
like the Red Sox, right?
It's not COVID. We haven't lost more COVID people. We just the Lions won, and everybody's wish. We just lost 1,000 people in the stadium.
We all made a deal with the devil or with God. If you just let them win this game,
I'll never drink again. I'll give up drugs, money.
I won't smoke any more weed.
Money and drugs.
Hey, they're never winning. If that's the case, Sean, Lions are never going to win. I can't give that up.
I can't quit that. No, hey, dude, I know you got business to do. You hang here as long as you want. If you got to take off, you take off.
They said somebody on here said McCarty is a sharp dude, engaging. Another person says D-Mac needs to be a part of the network.
There you go. We're gonna go see what we can do.
You know the guys over at Grove Green? You know the guys over at Grove Green, Michigan?
I do know. I know most of the.
They said D-Mac in the house. Looking forward to supporting this show in 2021. Keep it up, boys. And
and here's the thing, Joint. Also too is that there's a few people that, the right people that I'm fortunate enough, like you said, to be led around. Some of the guys, the Rick Thompsons, the Jamie Lowells, the Am I Legalized, and all these, the people in it for the right cause, for everything else that I'm more than happy to introduce you to, so they get to know, because it's just building this system. And it's when you're down here, this is the where. Don't tell me what, tell me who.
I'm going to ask you one last question before you get out of here.
Yeah.
What made you gravitate towards this plant?
Because it saved my life. Because here's my sobriety date, 11/11/15, and on 11/10/15, I was about 80 pounds heavier. My organs were going to explode. I was literally going to die. And because of this plant, the love of the caregivers, my wife's a RN, I detoxed between 10 and 15 grams of RSO, Rick Simpson oil, which is the plant to the concentrated form. It's the stuff that kills cancer. 8 days. I was out for 7, purging, puking, whatever like this. Because being an alcoholic and fighting this my whole life is that I was about 8 months mentally and spiritually ready. But with alcohol, you can't quit. You got to detox and you got to get off or you'll die. It's just like opiates and you'll die. So the fact that the caregivers and the people that I met in this community saved my life. When I woke up on that 8th thing and didn't have that physical addiction to alcohol, like I wouldn't get sick when I drank. I get sick when I didn't drink. That's how bad it was. And I got down on my knees because I didn't have that physical addiction, and I was in tears, and I was so grateful. And then I got mad. Then I got mad because I was lied to, and then I got mad because I was one of the ones that how much had I suffered to know, because there's always something missing, right? I live my life by the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous, 12 steps, except I got a guard in my program. You got it? Because it was always, and that's the problem that I have, and I don't care because I do it my way and I found what's worked for me. I look myself, I tell everybody, the bottom line, here it is. Don't lie to the person in the mirror. Don't lie to them. Be flat honest. And it took me to walk by him and stop one day and say, I'm not dealing with you right now. And he looked back at me and said, hope you're alive when you come back. And that caught my attention. Then I started talking to him. Then I started figuring out that Darren McCarty was to everybody else, but who was he to himself? So this plant, and then I fought, and then 5 years. So that's why you're talking about the integrated system. So my licensing is with Pincan up in Pinconning, the 135,000 seed to sale facility that produces all this stuff.
Right.
It's because of the who. And it's the radical genetics that grow my flower, and it's the organics, and it's Brent that makes it's the guys who care about the people. Like you said, the money, dude, it's like anything else. In this business, if you say money doesn't grow on trees, they haven't grown weed, because it's resilient and patient, right? And if you just want your piece of the pie, it'll come. So you don't worry about that. So you surround yourself and you figure out who's the money people. Go ahead, go chase the money, do that. But who are the compassion people? And then you circle around, because you bring the people out, and that's it.
What did I tell you earlier, Sean?
I'm ready.
Let's go. I tell my kids, you chase what?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What
That was great. You know what? We were talking about it. Somebody brought it up on Twitter. I got to read this off of Twitter as well.
Seriously.
Yeah,
you got that Habs.
Come on, you know that.
Come on, man. He's got the Habs. I know he's
you know what?
He's got the Habs. The Maple or the Montreal Canadiens CH on his phone.
Chase the purpose. Somebody tweeted out.
Chase the purpose.
Put
it in quotes.
You chase the purpose, not the money.
Well, here's the one thing, and I'll end it with this. Is because I do Grind Time with Darren McCarty, right? And Grind Time with Darren McCarty and it's gone through transformations, and I was always asked, well, what is it? And I was always like, well, it's mine. It says it's my name on it, so it's whatever I want it to be. And you know what? It took me until 3 months ago. You know what Grind Time with Darren McCarty is about? It's about the why. I got to know the why. So when you and I sit down on Grind Time, it's the why. Just like you're saying, and everything that you're saying, what's your purpose? Pursue your purpose.
Period.
Great stuff.
Hey,
I knew you guys would hit it off. There's
sure.
no doubt in my mind you two were going to hit it off.
Darren made our show so much easier, man. I appreciate you coming on. Everybody, Darren McCarty, everybody.
I will see you tonight.
All right, buddy. Talk to you tonight.
I will talk to you tonight.
Definitely.
If you're not doing anything tonight, 7 to 8 o'clock, WJR, me and Shawnee B, Darren McCarty Show. What that about? I got a question. Here, I'm going to tease right now. Okay. Now, with gambling being legal, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And everything like that. And I see all these like sports, get into this, and here's your free bonus. Because gambling is legal, does this have a shot of somebody new who's never sports gambled or learning into it to become the next Jimmy the Greek? That's just the question.
That's a good question.
I
That's
just
a good
mean
question.
a different because again, as we're talking about the cannabis, how the legalization enabled people to get into it. Let's look at it tonight. I want to look at it as a question
That's
maybe
a- that's a
people
great
for the
question.
gambling
Yeah.
side are they looking
Can't
forward
beat
to
it.
because
No.
now it's legal.
Let's do
Let's
that.
see. We'll see what happens.
All right.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny
Hey,
about that
appreciate
is I'll
it.
let these
Yeah,
guys
good
give
talk.
the bro hug and everything. To that point, Joique, I'll